only have 6 more left. So strongly want to encourage everyone to do QT. $4. So if you think about it, it's only $1 to invest in reading the Word of God. Alright? Let's pray. Father God, we want to thank you, Lord, for who you are. And God, I pray, Father God, that you'll speak to me clearly at this time as we hear your word. I pray, Father God, that you'll help us, Father God, that you'll challenge us, that you'll help us, Father God, to turn to you at all times. Thank you, we love you, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. There's a couple things that I want to mention. As we look into the book of Isaiah chapter 7, when you read it, honestly, a lot of times you're going to be like, what the heck is going on? It's so confusing. There's so many names out of here. There's so many country names out of here. There's so many kings that are named here. And what is going on? It's kind of confusing. So before I go on, I'm just going to give you a quick overview, background information, like a history lesson of the Old Testament Bible and different kingdoms. And hopefully that will help you in terms of better understanding today's passage. But before we do, I actually want to spend time reading the passage together. So today's passage is Isaiah chapter 10. Verses 10 all the way to 25. So if you could, in one voice, let's try to read it together. And again, if you don't have Bible, I do have Bible for you guys in the back. But if you have it, make sure you bring a Bible, especially if you guys are serving as leaders in junior high, high school, elementary. That's sad if you're doing that, right? Alright, so let's read it together. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Verse 18. Amen. Just want to go over this. One of the reasons why I have you guys read the Bible together on Sunday is because, first of all, it's really sad that I know that a lot of you guys don't read the Bible at all at home. So I feel like maybe this is one opportunity where you guys can actually read the Bible for yourself. Not only that, but the church is actually encouraged to read the Bible together, right? There's a lot of passages that talk about when you guys meet together at the church, practice reading the Word of God together, right? Not only in the Old Testament, but in the New Testament. That's one of the reasons why we try to read the Bible together. But again, I really want to encourage you guys, not only at church, but at home, please do read the Word of God. Let me start off by asking you a question. Who do you turn to during hard times? When you are faced with the crisis in life, who do you look towards? When you are having a very difficult day, who is one person that you text? Or who is one person that you call? Or who is one person that you think about? Or what is that one device that you turn to? Is it a person? Is it a video game? Is it a movie? Is it a food? Is it shopping? Who do you turn to when you are having a hard time? In today's passage, we read about a guy by the name of King Ahab. And this guy is the king of Judah, right? And during hard times, you would assume that he would turn to God because he's the king of Judah. But instead of turning to God, who did he turn to? He turns to the Assyrian king during times of hardship. On Wednesday night, I usually eat dinner with all the camp pastors because we're all day at church. And then camp, they have their Wednesday worship at around 7 o'clock. So around 5:10, we usually eat together with all the Muslims. So again, I was eating with them. Usually when we eat, we have about maybe 10 pastors eating together. But for some reason, a lot of the pastors, they're kind of busy. So I ended up eating this dinner with me, Pastor Peng, and 2 other Muslims. As we're eating dinner, usually we eat like song time and like as we're eating dinner, I get a notification on my phone, ring. And the sound is actually na 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 na. And what is that sound?
ESPN.
ESPN. And I'm like, oh shoot, what's going on? I look. He says this. Rich Hill of Los Angeles Dodgers throws 6 perfect innings. Right? And if you know anything about baseball, first of all, perfect game is something that is amazing. Here is how difficult it is for someone to throw a perfect game. Since 1900s, right? Since 117 years ago when they started recording this, in Major League Baseball, only 23 players have thrown a perfect game in the history of baseball. What exactly is a perfect game? Perfect game is this. A pitcher goes out, and as you know, there's 9 innings in baseball, unless you go extra inning. Each inning, there's 3 outs, right? So the lowest number of players that you could technically face 27 players, right? 9 times 3, right? 27 players. Perfect game, it means that you're throwing so well that the batter doesn't get a hit, he doesn't even walk, you don't even throw an air, or you don't even hit the guy with the ball, and he does not even reach base, right? So if you throw perfect all the way to the ninth, this game is actually called perfect game. You have to, of course, win at the end. So I get this notification and I'm thinking in my head, oh my gosh, dude, I gotta watch this game. And if you know anything about me, I love Dodgers. Think about it. As you know, I love Kobe, right? Kobe is my favorite athlete of all time. But in terms of sport, Laker is up there, but I love Dodgers even more than Lakers. Think about it. I'm thinking, oh my god, it's gonna be a great game. But at the same time, I cannot look at my phone because I'm eating dinner with Kamusan. I'm here, Kamusan is right in front of me. I can't be like, oh, Kamusan just like watch. So I'm eating, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, Kamusan is like, hurry up. Eat fast, like go watch the game. But that day again, Kamusani was like in a good mood, so he started talking to me like, oh, you know how she'll teach us with joy. I'm like, oh yeah. Right? He started asking me all these questions. He's like, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, like all food good today. And usually Kamusani doesn't eat too much, right? Because it's really small. But that day he finished his bowl and he was like, I was like, oh my gosh, in my mind I was like, funny. I'm glad you're eating, but can you hurry up, right? That's the attitude I have. Finally, when he finished, he got up, like, oh, it's awesome that he walked away. I was like, okay, let's clean up. And then I went to my desk, I turned on my laptop, I did for a site, I started playing the game. And by this time, it was the end of the 7th inning. Again, Mitchell is throwing amazing, right? Perfect. Defense is superb, right? And I wasn't the only one watching. There was another Mo Fanning behind me. Mo Fanning, Mo Fanning came out. Mo Fanning, if you know what that is. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Right? He came behind me, we're watching together, we're cheering, right? So 8th inning, perfect game. 9th inning, he comes in. But the only thing that's kind of having me worried is this. Again, as you know, Dodgers at number 1 right now. They're on pace to set the record for most wins in baseball history, right? But that game, the score was 0-0. So even if this guy, he throws really, really well, if it's 0-0, it doesn't really mean anything. Won't win, it doesn't mean anything. So he comes at 9th inning, he throws, and this guy, one of the guys, hits the ball, and a player, he drops it, and because he's of air, the guy goes on first base. So perfect game is out of the window. But there's still a thing called no-hitter where you don't actually get a hit, but this is also really, really good. Only maybe one player, or maybe, usually it's like one player a year, or one player every other year, that gets a no-hitter. And he's on pace for a no-hitter, and in the 9th inning, the score was 0-0. Right? So you're thinking, oh my gosh, what a waste. This guy is throwing an amazing game, superb, but the team, they can't score, they can't help it. So the manager does this. This is very rare, but the manager tells Richard, you're gonna go out for one more inning. We're gonna give you one more opportunity. And if he goes, and then if we score, he gets the win. We go over the pitcher, right? He goes in, hands in. The first pitch that he throws, opposing team player comes, he hits the ball, he becomes home run, and we lose the game, right? And at that time, this is what I was thinking. I was like, oh my gosh. My level of excitement, it went from, oh my gosh, this is awesome, this is amazing. From that, we went to, oh my gosh, this is so sad, so disappointing. How did they not score a single run, right? And I was watching the game and thinking about the passage. This is what I thought. If you rely on something other than God, ultimately at the end you will face disappointment. You will face hardship. You're gonna be sad. Why? Because at the end, ultimately, right, you cannot place your hope on other things, anything besides God. But again, going back to the story, here's the thing. There's a guy by the name of King Ahaz, right? This guy, a dilemma comes, right? He has a choice to make, right? And when hardship came, instead of relying on God, you know what he does? He goes, forget you, God. You know what? I'm gonna rely on the power of God. I'm gonna turn to a different nation, the Assyrians, right? God, I'm gonna turn to them. So eventually, King Ahaz, he learns the hard way. Again, let me ask you a question. During hardship, who do you turn to? Who do you turn to when you're faced with a dilemma? Who do you look towards? Who do you walk towards? Let me give you the background of Isaiah before I continue on with the message. So in Isaiah chapter 7, verses 1 through 10, we see that King Ahaz, he has a dilemma. Let me first talk about King Ahaz. King Ahaz, he is the king of a nation known as, guess what country? I already mentioned it, you don't pay attention? Judah, good. Judah. There's a country called Judah, okay? Usually in the Bible, is Judah a good nation or a bad nation? Half and half, but usually when you think about Judah, you think about, okay, that's the people of God, right? Before Judah used to be what country? Israel, good. It was Israel. But there was civil war, there's division within Israel, right? The north became called what? The trick question. Israel. North stayed and they were called Israel. The south, right? So they think of south as a good country, but you know we're South Korea, right? North is Israel. Easy way to remember south is Judah. Okay? And this king by the name of Ahaz, right? He's the king of Judah, the south portion of Israel. And their capital city, think about good kingdom, right? Is what? What's their capital city? Jerusalem, good. Now Israel, they have their own capital city, and it was like a bad capital city, and they're called, anyone know? Israel, they hated this people. Samaria, good, right? So there's Israel, capital is Samaria, there's Judah, the capital is Jerusalem. So here is a dilemma. There's Israel, there's Judah, there's this huge empire that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this country is known as what? Instead of the word A? Assyria. Okay, good, Assyria, right? So Assyria, right? They're getting, if you get it, you get it. If not, oh well, right? Easy way to remember. Right? Think about it. Kingdom is getting bigger. Assyria, anyway, right? Assyria is getting bigger and bigger. And think about it. Because Assyria is getting bigger and bigger, what do people in the surrounding countries think about it? Oh my gosh, they're getting very, very powerful. We're kind of scared. Man, what do we do? Right? The surrounding countries of Syria, they became kind of frightened. And they know that they're getting stronger and stronger. And because they're getting stronger and stronger, they're actually becoming a threat to the surrounding nation. So this is what happened. There's a king in Israel by the name of Pekah, right? This is Israel. They're also known as Ephraim. But Israel, the king of Israel and the king of Syria, right? King of Israel and king of Syria, also known as king of Aram, right? Reason, the two kings come together, Israel and Syria, they come together and they say this. You know what? Assyrians, they're becoming really, really strong, right? They're bigger than us, Israel. They're bigger than us, Syria. So this is what we should do. We should combine power so that King of Syria can mess with us, right? So they form an alliance. They're like, okay, when they come, we're gonna fight together. We're gonna bond together. We're gonna destroy them. But they're still thinking, man, Syria is so strong. So even though we team up with Israel and Syria, we team up together, we're kind of strong. I mean, we're kind of weak. What should we do? They look at Judah and they go, let's bring in the king of Judah. Maybe it will be 3 nations become 1 nation, and they won't be able to mess with us, we'll defend themselves, and we'll become strong. So the 2 kings, they go to Ahaz. And who is Ahaz? If you remember from Isaiah chapter 6, that famous passage where we go, I saw the Lord sitting on the throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his throne filled the temple. And then later on, here I am, sent me. In that passage, in the beginning says this, in the year that King Uzziah died. Right? So Uzziah, there's a king by the name of Uzziah in Judah. The grandson of Uzziah is now the king of Judah, Ahaz. So the 2 kings come to Ahaz and they say this, yo, we need to form our alliance. Let's fight together, let's stand together, let's not get bullied together. But you know what Ahaz does? He thinks about it, and he goes, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to form an alliance with you 2. And maybe you're thinking, oh, this guy's so godly. He doesn't want to team up with other people. He wants to rely on God, but that's not right. This guy, the way that he thinks is very very shady. This is what he's thinking. You 2, even though we team up together, we're going to get destroyed. So instead of teaming up with you, I'm actually going to go behind your back and go to the king of Syria and say, you know what? We're going to become your servants. We're going to give money to you, so you give her back. Right? This is what he's thinking. And then, when Israel and Syria, they find out about the power of Judah, this is what they decide to do. They said, forget this. We're now going to invade Judah, right? We're going to kill this guy. We're going to kill this king. And of course, because the king has a lot of sons, right? And they say this, we're going to actually have one of his sons that he doesn't like. We're going to have him become king. He's going to be a puppet for us. We're going to tell him what to do. You will listen to us. And we're going to be united again. We're going to be an alliance, us 3 nations together. And we're going to attack Syria. So that's the background that's happening. So again, King Ahaz, he had a choice. He was faced with a dilemma, right? He knew that the nations were gonna come and they're gonna, invade. So what does he do? During hardship, what did he do? When he heard rumors about war, who did he turn to? You would assume that he would turn to God. Because again, usually Judah is a good nation, right? Capital is Jerusalem. You think that they're people of God. But the sad thing about the reality of today's story is this. Instead of turning to God, what does he do? He turns to something that he can see and grab immediately. He turns to the king of Assyria. Let me ask you a question. Again, what do you do during hardship? When you're faced with obstacles in your life, who do you turn to? When you run out of money, who is the first person you ask? Is it your mom, your dad, your sibling, is it your relatives, is it your cousins, is it your friends? When you hear rumors about, North Korea, new people, right? What's the first thing you think about? You're like, oh man, I wish our government, will get more money on military, get stronger, right? Who do you turn to? Who do you think about during hardship? In the case of King Ahaz, he turns to the power of men. He turns to the power of government. And the story is not being described here, but we can know from 2 Kings chapter 16, verse 1 to 9. What does he do? Again, the king of Judah, he goes to the enemy, right? He goes to Assyria, and he tells them, hey king, you know what? I'll give you money. You protect our country. And if you think about it, this is really, really sad. This is really, really depressing. Why? Because we're not talking about any other country. We're talking about Judah. Right? They're chosen people of God. This is God's beloved people. And instead of turning to God and say, God, we're in this dilemma, we need you, we gotta turn to you. What does the king do? He goes, sorry God, forget you. I don't think you do anything. So he goes to the Assyrian king, he goes, help. And how does he do this? This is really, really sad too. Right? When you usually go to someone for protection, right? Let's say I'm getting bullied at school, right? And Andy's always trying to beat me up. I'm like, oh dude, don't beat me up. And I go to Andrew. you know what, you're stronger than me. And he's always picking me up, you help me, right? And usually if Andrew is like a big guy, a gangster guy, what do we do? Okay, I'll help you, Jacob. You pay for my lunch, right? You give me money. So I gotta give you money. Same thing, Judah has to now give money to Syria. So how does he do this? This is really, really sad. You can see how evil this king is. He doesn't have money, he runs out, what does he do? He gets gold, he gets silver from the temple of God. What does that look like? Right? He's literally stealing from God's house, from church, he's giving it to the king of Syria. Right? It's like me saying, hey, Andrew, help me out, and he's bullying me, he's trying to beat me up. And you go, give me money. I'm like, here's $1. Like, no, I need more than that. What do? I go to church. When the offering basket is being passed around, I put my money in. I'm like, oh, I put like quarters in, exchange $1 out, right? That's what he's doing. He's taking money out from the temple of God. And we see how evil this guy is. Even though he is a direct descendant, right? He falls to the descendant of David. This is what he's doing. How else do we know that this king Ahaz is so evil? This is what he does. It's also recorded that this king is so evil, right? He should be a person that fears God. Instead, he turns to idols and turns to false God. And there's an instance that's recorded that he offers up his son as a sacrifice. He literally killed his son on fire. He burns it on fire. Say, oh God, here, I'm going to give you my son. Now give me protection. Right? So we know how evil this guy is. Rather than relying on the salvation, right, relying on the help of God, right, he relies on people for help. So what happens? We're going to continue on. Now we pick up in verse 10, we're going to continue going. So this is the story that's going on. Ahaz is kind of like, saying, you know what, I'm going to give money, here's the money, gives it to Assyria. So now, of course, God is not happy. Why? Because through hardship, instead of turning to God, he turns to man. So what does God do? He sends his prophet Isaiah. Isaiah comes to King Ahaz, and this is what he says. You know what? God has a message for you. And this is a message for you. Actually, he says this. God will give you a message. God is going to give you a sign. And the sign that God gives you could be anything. It could be low as the hell or high as the heaven, meaning it could be anything small or anything big. You ask for a sign, God will give it to you. Right? Do anything and God will show it to you. But how does Ahaz respond? Right? This is what he says in verse 11. No, verse 12. Right? Isaiah comes and says, you know what? Ask for a sign. But this is what King Ahaz says. I will not ask, and I will not put the Lord to the test. I'm not gonna do that. How dare me? I'm just a person. I cannot put the Lord God to the test. And what he's actually referring is to the Ten Commandments, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 16. And if you think about it, maybe you're thinking, wow, he finally gets it. He's humbling himself before God. He realized that he's a sinner. So he's saying, God, how dare me? I'm only a man. I cannot do such things to you. Right? That's how we would think. But if you actually look and read on, we see that what he's actually doing is awesome humility. Right? Indeed, he is putting God to the test. How? By saying no to God and by saying no and rejecting God and the prophet of God, what does he do? He's now actually testing the patience of God. And from the outside, he looks holy, right? Oh, I cannot put the Lord God to the test. But the reason why he's doing this is because pretty much he's saying, forget you, God. I don't believe in you. Why would I believe in you when I have this Assyrian king that's so powerful, they're going to come and protect me? So the story goes on and says this. God says, forget you. You know what? You don't want a sign, but I'm going to give it to you regardless. And this is a sign that God tells King Ahaz that he's going to give. And the sign that he gives is this. In verse 14, he says this. One of the signs that I'm going to show you is this. A virgin shall bear a son. And if you grew up at church, this verse should actually, wake you up like, oh, I know where that comes from, right? The first sign that he gives is this. A virgin shall conceive and have a son. The second sign that he says is this, verse 14. You know what? Not only that, but this child's name is going to be Emmanuel. Right? Can anyone tell me, what does the word Emmanuel mean? Emmanuel means what? God with us, right? So that's the second sign that he gives. The third sign that God will give later on eventually is this. The kingdom of Israel and Syria, remember they try to team up, right? He says this. Those guys, they're going to be punished, right? God talks about that in verse 15 and 16. And then in verse 17, the fourth sign that God talks about is this. You better watch out because the Syrians are coming. You place your hope on them and you're actually paying them to protect you. But sooner or later, they're going to come and the person that you believe in, they're going to smack you from the back of their head. You're going to get backstabbed. They're going to destroy you. They're going to slaughter you. You're going to have a hard time. But why is this going to happen? God tells it. Because I am allowing it to happen. I'm going to allow the Assyrians to come, bring judgment upon you, your government. And it's going to be so bad, it's going to be worse than the split that you have in Israel and Judah. Right? So God tells King of Judah the four signs that happen. But the sad thing is this, as the king of Judah, he hears this. Ahaz, as he hears this, he doesn't fully understand what is happening. Obviously, when God said there's going to be a child born of a virgin birth, right? He's like, yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. And this child, his name is going to be Emmanuel. He's like, okay, I don't know what he's talking about. But the things that he gets is this, that eventually, Israel and Syria, they're going to get punished. That he doesn't understand. And he doesn't understand, right, what God is talking about. When God said to Syria, they're going to come, they're going to bring judgment upon you guys, you're going to get crushed, you're going to get destroyed, right? That he does know what God is talking about. But here, we don't know if he fully believes it or not. But one thing for sure is that God tells it, and he does understand what God is telling him. Like, he doesn't fully believe it. I don't think so. Because if he did, he would have repented and came to God, but he doesn't. But here's something interesting. When we hear words like the virgin will conceive and bear a child, and his name shall be Emmanuel, for us, we should automatically be like, I know what God's talking about. God is actually prophesying. Right? About who? About the birth of Jesus Christ. Right? As we read in Matthew chapter 1, verse 23. But for King Ahaz, he has no idea what God is talking about. So here's the thing. So what was the result of Ahaz, the king of Judah, turning away from God? Instead of turning to God, turning to king of Assyria, Jehoshaphat. This is the outcome. The nation becomes devastated. Think about it. Because of this foolish king, the nation becomes devastated. I want you to think about this. At times, God will give you warnings. And the warning that God gives you many times will come in signs. And sometimes you'll get it, and sometimes you're not going to get it. Sometimes you're going to ignore the signs of God and be like, hey, whatever, God, I know you're kind of like nudging me. If I know my friend came up to me, he shared a Bible verse, or I was walking by and then I saw this billboard and it reminded me of the passage that I heard. God, I know you're trying to convince me, you're giving me signs here and there. I forget you, God. You know what, right now I just want to enjoy my life. I want to do what I want to do. Right? I'm in college. Give me some freedom, God. What happens when you continually ignore the warnings of God? At times, this is what God's going to do. And I want you to think about it. God will bring discipline upon you. Think about it. When you continue to ignore God, at times God will bring discipline upon you. And notice how I said discipline and not punishment. Because discipline and punishment is very different. They're very, very different. Punishment is different, right? Punishment is something that I will do to get the person back, right? I will punish someone if I want to get even with this person. I'm going to punish someone if I want to get revenge upon this person. I'm going to punish someone if I want to watch this person suffer and I enjoy it. But what is discipline? Discipline is very different. The reason why God will discipline you is because of love. And because God wants to discipline you, bring correction upon your life, and through whatever circumstance that you're facing, and at times through hardship, right? As God is watching you, He wants you to change and learn from that. Why? Not to laugh at you, not so that you're miserable, not so that God will be like, okay, that's what you get for not listening to me. But so that you will come back to Him. Right? So at times, When we ignore the warnings of God, God will show us, signs. And if we ignore it, what we do, He will discipline us, right? And of course, if you're not a believer, at times God will punish you. But for Christians, God will discipline. So how does God discipline His kingdom of Judah? What does God do? He says this, devastation will come to Judah. And the devastation that God will bring upon Judah is actually important. It's four different things that God talks about. And here's something I want you to remember. When you're reading Bible passages and you see a word that's repeated over and over and over again, especially if the wording is a phrase, then you gotta be like, ooh, this is important. Why is there a repetition of word? Right? From verse 18 all the way up to 25, there's repetition of 4 words. Right? There's 4 warnings that God gives. Can anyone say the word? What is it? Pretty easy. Verse 18, verse 20, verse 21, verse 23. 18, 20, 21, 23. What are the words that are repeated over and over and over and over again? Louder, don't be shy. Right? In that day. Right? Isaiah through God, he repeats the word over again. You know what it says? Because of your reading this, when the Assyrians come, when people come, right? It says like, in that day, number 1. In that day, number 2. In that day, number 3. In that day, number 4. So what are the 4 signs, right? 4 prophecies that God gives because of his disobedience, because he didn't turn to God. Number 1 is seen in verse 18 and 19. The first thing that God mentions is this. The land of Judah will be infested with the enemy troops. Right? God tells them, you did not listen to me, therefore the Assyrian nation, they're going to come, and not only the Assyrian nation, but eventually later on the Babylonians, they're also going to come. They're going to destroy you guys. And the wording that we see here is the word flies and bees. Flies and bees. Where do you hear the word fly, especially in the Old Testament? Think about it. What picture comes to your mind when you hear the word fly? Here we're talking about punishment, right? We're talking about judgment. Where do you hear the word flies as judgment, punishment? Good. The 10th plague. Right? So it has a similar idea where God is saying, this people, this nation, they're going to come in as flies. They're going to come, a lot of them, they're going to come, they're going to bug you. Not only that, but they're going to come, just like the plague, they're going to destroy everything that you guys have. So that's the first, in that day, that God talks about. Number 1 is that Judah will be infested with enemy troops. Right? Second thing is this, verse 20. Second thing that's going to happen to them is humiliation. Second thing that will happen to them is humiliation. And thankfully, because we're Korean Americans and because your parents are Korean, it's actually a lot easier for us to understand. Here's why. In this culture, right, in the culture of the Bible, in the Middle East, right, their culture is actually very similar to that of us, of Asians. Why? Because they also have this thing called shame and honor culture. Right? So think about this. If you watch a lot of Korean drama, and especially when you watch, the saga, like the old drama with the kings and all those kind of stuff, you'll kind of better understand. Right? True story. In 1895, right, there was a queen in Korea. Can anyone take a guess what her name is? Who was the queen of Korea in 1895? Queen Min. Okay? Queen Min. Right? She was pretty brave, she was really smart. The Japanese government, they really hated her. So what did? They actually sent ninjas with them. Right? They literally sent ninjas to go and assassinate her. Right? So she died at the hand of the Japanese government. Right? And after she died in 1895, what does the Japanese government do? They forced the king, because the king was actually very weak and the queen was actually, she was really wise. Right? So she was doing out the governing. But now that the queen died, the king was very scared, he was terrified, what to do. So the Japanese government, they sent people and they forced the king to sign this paper saying this. If you are a Korean male, you're gonna cut your hair. Right? So back in the days, how did people grow up their hair? They had this ponytail on top, right? And for back then, that means everything. right? You cut that hair, that means you're, oh my gosh, you're kind of like naked, like humiliation to the max, right? Japanese government did that, and they knew that this was very closely tied to the Korean identity. So they say, you know what? King signed it. So they forced the king to sign the paper saying, every Korean people, you gotta cut the top of your hair, right? And that's what the king did himself. He had to cut the top of his hair. And if you read about this, it's actually a very sad story because the moment that the king cut his hair, the entire nation was weak. They're crying because they knew that the king had been humiliated, right? For foreign government. It's like yielding down to the foreign government, right? It's boring. He cut his hair. And not only that, every male in Korea, they have to cut their hair. So people, as you can imagine, they're hurt, they're betrayed, right? And some people in their government officials, they said, you know what? I'm not gonna cut my hair here. Rather than you cutting top of my hair up, I'd rather you chop off my head. People actually die because they don't want to cut their hair. So think of that in terms of this humiliation that I'm going to be talking about. One of the humiliations that God talks about is this. When the Assyrian government comes, this is what will happen to all the people in Judah, right? Especially at verse 20. Every male, right? They're going to cut their hair head short, right? Not only that, they're going to shave their legs, right? Not only that, they're going to cut their beard, right? This was a sign of utter humiliation. Here in the ESV, it says that, leg hair, but if you read other translations, it's actually very detailed. And if you read the old NIV, I believe it says that not only the hair on top of the head, not only the beard, but also the hair in your private parts, right? So it's crazy humiliation that the people will face. So God says this, because you didn't turn to me, number one, enemies will come, your net is going to be filled with them. Number two, you're going to face utter humiliation, right? Especially for God, we're going to cut your hair, we're going to cut your beard, we're going to cut every single part of your hair, right? We're going to laugh at you, people are going to laugh at you. And the third thing that, God tells us is this, verse 21 and 22. You're going to be sent away. You're going to be in exile, right? We're going to take you from your country, and we're going to put you away in a different country. We're going to put you in Assyria, and later on, even in Babylon, right? In the passage that he talks about is this, in those days, think about this. So many people will be put into exile, right? They're going to be taken into Assyria, and later on into Babylon. What's going to happen? The food, even though there's very little food remaining in the land, even though there's very few remaining, like animals in the land, it says couple cows, couple lamb, right? For the entire nation, food is going to be like reduced. But because so many people are going to be sent away, that remain tiny food is going to be enough to feed everyone. Think about it. Right? That's like saying, well, here, I'm going to give you a bowl of kaplan. Right? There's no way kaplan is going to feed everyone. But if everyone dies except for Eric and Eugene, that's enough for them to eat for a week. Right? That's kind of like a similar idea that God is talking about. Right? They're going to be put into exile. And then finally, number 4 is in verse 23 to 25. The land will be destroyed. The land, they know from before, it talks about how this land was so rich that so many grapes were there, vineyards were there. Everywhere, it was worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. A very rich land. But when devastation comes, enemies, they're going to burn everything, they're going to destroy everything, right? Everything literally going to be ruined. That's the punishment, right? That they're going to be. Actually, that's the discipline that they're going to be facing. Let me ask you this question again. Who do you turn to during hardship? Who do you turn to when you are faced with hardship? Here in today's passage, the king of Judah, right? Ahab, what did he do? Instead of placing his faith upon God, instead of saying, God, I need you, I'm going to turn to you, instead, what did he do? He relied upon the power of man. Instead of turning to the King of Kings, what did he do? He turned to a mere king and said, King, can you help me out? And later on, he's going to get backstabbed through them. Who do you turn to when you're having a hard time? Think about this. Who do you turn to when you're having a hard time? When you feel like no one wants to be with you, who do you turn to? Is it your gaming system? If your parents yell at you, who do you turn to? Is it your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your friend? When you're having a hard time at school, who do you turn to? Is it your counselor, your roommate? Okay? I'm not saying those things are bad, but here's what we need to realize. The first person that we need to turn to is God. And as you turn to God, God will give you discernment and be like, okay, this is what you're going to do. Oh, ask God for this, right? If King of Judah turned to God and said, God, what do I do? And if God said, okay, here's what you do. I'm going to change the heart of the king of Syria, turn to them, and kind of like, oh, they'll make it. But the fact was that instead of turning to God, instead of trusting God, he relied upon him. For us, as Christians, we need to turn to God. Why? Because unlike this king, we know who the Messiah is. Right? When the word Emmanuel is given, you know what that means. It means that God is with us. That Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, right? God himself, right? He's born of a virgin birth. He came to us in the form of Emmanuel, God with us. So we need to turn to him. A couple of simple applications. I know we're really late on time. Number one is this. We need to turn to God. Every opportunity that we get, we need to turn to God. What does that mean? Turning to God, it actually means to be obedient to God. Right? It means that we trust in God. The other thing that I want you to remember is this. When you see a warning sign, do not ignore God. When God gives you a warning sign, whichever that may be, through a friend, through a book, through a sermon, through a music that you hear, however God gives you a warning sign, do not ignore the warning sign of God. As soon as you hear a warning sign, you see a warning sign, what do? You repent before God, turn back to God. And here's another. If you have already ignored the warning signs of God, maybe you are being disciplined at the time. If God is being disciplined, if God is disciplining you, again, the reason why God is disciplining you is not because He hates you, He wants to get even with you, or He wants to get revenge on you. Because He loves you as a child. He wants you to come back to Him. So, if you are being disciplined, you know what? Come back to God. Say, God, I'm sorry and I need you. And repent before God. Amen? Let's pray. Father God, we want to thank you, Lord, for who you are. And God, again, we want to thank you, Lord, for your faithfulness. And God, we pray, Father God, that you'll move within our lives. So that especially, God, as we go through hardship, God, especially, God, as we face difficult times, instead of turning to the things of the world, God, instead of turning to things that look more stronger or better at the time, instead of looking for a quick solution, God, we jump to Father God to turn to you and trust in you and to really, God, place our hope in you. So, God, we jump with God to be obedient to you. And God, as we see warning signs around us, God, we ask, God, that you will wake us up. Help us not to ignore those signs. And God, if there's anyone here, God, at the time of difficult, God, we jump with Father God to come back before you, to kneel down before you and say, God, I want to come back to you. I'm sorry. I hate you. I was wrong. So God, we pray, Father God, that you'll challenge us. We thank you, Lord, for who you are. That's what we pray. Amen. Let's all stand.